So now I am going to explain about the next concept, that is influence on instruction set. Okay, so here some instructions are much better suited for pipeline execution concept than other instructions, but some are instructions are not applicable for this pipeline execution concept. Okay, so that means some instructions are much better, it's suited to the pipelining execution than other instructions, but some are not. For example, instructions that have side effects which can lead to undesirable data dependencies. Okay, so basically these type of instructions are not suited for the pipeline execution. That means, so which instructions are having the side effects that can lead to the undesirable data dependencies, that is not suited for pipeline concept. Okay, so the machine instructions and influenced by basically two things. Okay, here we are using the instructions that will be influenced on the pipeline concept. Okay, so how it will influenced means, here some of the machine instructions are influenced by the basically two things. In that, one is addressing modes and another thing is nothing but condition code flags. Okay, so here how the instructions will be influenced means, so that will be influenced by two things. One is addressing modes and another one is conditional code flags. So first we'll study about addressing modes. So already we know that thing. Okay, so how the addressing modes influenced on the machine instructions, basically now we'll see here. Okay, so it creates the side effects and generating the data dependencies. Okay, so influence on instruction set means, so once the instruction will be influenced on these things. Okay, so what happens means, it creates the some side effects and generating the data dependencies. Okay, so once the instructions, whatever that machine instructions that will be influenced on these things, what happens in that means, it will get some side effects or it will create some side effects and also generating the data dependencies problems. Okay, so first of all, so we know about different types of addressing modes, like our index addressing modes, indirect, direct, auto increment, auto decrement, many more, right? So just for the previous topics, whatever we discussed, in that already we discussed about the addressing modes. Okay, so basically addressing modes is the thing which provides the means for accessing the variety of data structures. Okay, so what is meant by addressing mode? So which provides means for accessing the variety of data structures, that is simply and efficiently. Okay, we can represent the data, we can represent our content that is in different format, right? So it is uses more number of data structures in the more efficient way. Okay, so our processor will provide the different types of data structures. So some addressing modes are like what are that some addressing modes we can discussed already, that is we have discussed, that is auto increment and auto decrement and like register, indirect, direct, those are all related to the addressing modes, no? So in that, so we can classify these addressing modes are two types, okay, so remember that thing. So depends on whatever the types we are having in that, like 7 or 8 types addressing modes we are having. So based on that addressing modes, based on the data structure, we can classify it into addressing modes as two types. One is complex and another one is simple. Okay, so we can classify these addressing modes as simple addressing modes and complex addressing modes. Okay, so a complex addressing modes may require several access to the memory and to reach the operand also. Okay, so that means every instruction, that for example I can take one instruction here related to the complex, so that is move. Okay, what is the main point here, complex addressing mode? This reaches to the, that means it can access the memory and it reaches to the operand point, right? So memory is nothing but we can represent as a memory location, right? So that memory location you can represent like a address or maybe any of register, so that we can represent it here R1 comma R2. Okay, so move R1 comma R2 is nothing but, so R2 content will be moved into the R1 content. So maybe in that this is the address location will be stored into the R1 operand, right? So complex addressing modes may request several access to the memory and to reach the operand concept. So while simple addressing mode, this one is also same thing. So here we can access the different types of data structures here. That means that is that content will be related to the memory locations as well as related to the registers. So that's why simple addressing modes also requires simple addressing modes also only access to the memory, and then it reaches to the operand point. Okay, so now let us see one example that is related to the addressing mode. Okay, so here I can take one example. So that example is related to the load. Okay, so here move R1 comma R2, that is also related to the addressing mode. No? So here I can take one example that is related to the addressing mode but related to the complex part. Okay, so that load register R1 comma some effective address. Okay, so this is our instruction. Okay, so let us assume that this instruction will take 5 clock cycles. So here I can consider the clock cycles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so these are the clock cycle I mentioned for this instruction. So but we are having a compiler which is having only 4 stages. That 4 stages are fetching, decoding, execution, and next one is writing the instruction. Sorry. Okay, so here fetching, decoding, execution, and writing the or storing that instruction. Okay, so that is load R1 comma X or not. So in that R1 is nothing but our operand, and this X is nothing but effective address, and or not is having the content. Okay, so here this instruction has a complex addressing mode because this instruction requires 2 memory access. One to read the location, that is X plus or not. Okay, so first it will be read the location, and what is the next thing? Again it will be reads the location, that is X plus or not, X plus or not. Okay, so in that complex addressing mode, this instruction requires the 2 memory access. Okay, so in the 2 memory access is nothing but one to read the location, that can be represented by X plus or not, this content. Okay, and again it will be second, the point is also read the location, that will be represented as X plus or not. So just observe the difference here. Okay, so that means here if R1 is a source operand, in the next instruction that instruction has to be stalled, or that instruction has to be stopped for next 2 cycles. Okay, just observe the diagram here. So I1 instruction, and these are the clock cycle. So first thing what we will do, so fetching the instruction, after that decoding, after that execution, and writing instruction. So the first fetching and decoding is fetching the instruction 1 and decoding the instruction will be done in normal procedure. That means it requires only 2 clock cycles. Coming to the execution procedure, that the instruction, whatever the load instruction we are having, the source operand, that is nothing but this one, X or not. So that will be taking the 2 clock cycles. 2 memory access will be required, no? So that 2 memory access will be required for the next 3 clock cycles. So X plus or not, X plus or not, X plus or not. So that means in 3rd clock cycle we are placing the data. Okay, so in 4th and 5th clock cycle, just now I explained, it requires the 2 memory clock cycle, no? So that means after placing the data, may it requires the again 2 clock cycles. 4 and 5 it requires for the accessing the memory location. So then it requires the execution procedure. Okay, so coming to the instruction 2, fetching and decoding will be executed in normal procedure because it will take only 2 clock cycles. But coming to the execution procedure of that second instruction, it may got delayed. Okay, so we can see here, because of the delay of the execution of second instruction, okay, delay of the execution of the second instruction, so execution of third instruction may also got delayed, right? So why the execution of the second instruction got delayed? That means here, because still our step decoding, that is still our step D2, that means decoding of second instruction has not completed here. When D2 will complete, so automatically E2 will be complete. So similarly, the next instruction of the decoding processor will be got delayed. That means I3 instruction also the decoding processor will got delayed. So and execution process will got delayed. So what is the overall thing here? So we can observe the second instruction is depends upon the first instruction. So like the third instruction will be depends on the second instruction of the execution, and the fourth instruction will be depends on the execution of the third instruction, right? So that means in that in any instruction, if one of the step may got delayed, okay, so then automatically it will affect on the execution of the remaining instructions. Okay, so what is the difference in that, how it will affect on the instruction set on addressing modes means, here each addressing mode it requires the 2 memory access locations. So that's why after placing the data in one clock cycle, then it requires the another 2 clock cycles for the placing the data, that means for reading the content. Okay, so this is the how it will affect on the influence on the instruction set on addressing modes means like this. Now coming to the condition code flags. So most of the processors stores the condition code flags in which place? Status registers we are placing the day. Okay, so processor will stores the conditional codes in status registers. Okay, so this conditional branch instructions checks the conditional code flags and flow of program whether it is executed or not. Okay, so these conditional code flags are checked the whether the program is executed or not. Okay, so when the data dependency, okay, so when the data dependency or maybe branch exists, the pipeline may get stalled. Okay, so whenever the program execution is not decided with respect to the conditional code flags, automatically this data dependency problem will be raised. So automatically the pipeline will get stalled. So for this reason, for this data dependency instruction will got delayed, no. For this special reason, one special compiler is designed which reorders the instructions in the program which is to be executed. Okay, so that means why we are designing the compiler? To avoid that stalling procedure. Okay, to avoid that stopping the pipelining concept or to avoid the stalling the pipeline concept. So automatically the compiler takes the care to obtain the correct output while reordering the instructions. Okay, so for that case the compiler will be designed. So this compiler will be having that means this compiler will provide the more flexibility. Okay, so this is the how instruction will be influenced on the addressing modes and conditional code flags. Okay, for this condition code flags the pipeline may get stalled. For that reason compiler will be designed. Okay, that is the main point in conditional code flags. Okay, so this is the next concept. So I am coming to the after the second in that second unit, sorry, in that third unit we have one more concept in that is data control and data path and control considerations. So this is related to the, okay, this concept is related to the single bus organization. Already I explained that concept. I will show you the diagram so you can get one clarity. This is the diagram we have now, single bus organization. The same concept is repeated in data path control consideration. So based on this diagram we can explain the data path considerations. Okay, so once you can learn that concept, automatically you can understand that concept. Okay, thank you.